What's going on, guys? I am back, and today I'm doing my review for The Walking Dead Episode 10, New Best Friends. Alright, so first thing I want to say is if you see any flashing lights or anything like that, my TV's right here, and I have The Talking Dead on, so yeah, you can see all the flashing, changing lights and everything like that. That's just my TV, so... But yeah, anyways, let's get right into it. The episode basically starts off with the people from the kingdom making their weekly drop-off to the saviors. And, of course, the same groups of, the people from the kingdom and the same saviors from episode 2 are there. They show up again. And, of course, there's always problems because... I can't remember what that dude's name is. If anyone knows what the dude's name is with the long hair that Richard got into a fight with, let me know. I can't remember his name. I don't even know if he has one or not. But whoever he is, the dude with the long hair, of course, walks right up to Richard. Like as soon as they get out of the car, walks right up to him, and starts getting in his face, basically saying, I don't think he should have a gun. And they try to, take his gun away from him. They both pull their weapons. Ezekiel basically tells him to stand down and, hand over his weapon. Richard does, of course. And, of course, little punk-ass long-haired still gets in his face. And Morgan breaks it up. He hits him with the stick, and that dude basically takes his stick away, and of course they continue on with their deal. The main guy, I can't remember his name again. The dude, what was his name if he had one? I can't remember his name, but the main dude, I think he had like kind of curly hair. Basically said, this can't happen. If this happens again, there's going to be trouble. We're going to have to, things are going to get brutal. It's just, basically putting it delicately, things are going to get messy, if this continues to happen, even though Richard didn't do anything this time, that long-haired dude just basically walked right up to him and started the whole thing, which I like how they're setting that up for. He's just going to have one really brutal, horrible, very satisfying death. Let's just basically leave it at that, because that's basically what they're setting it up for. He takes Morgan's staff away. Morgan pleads with him, saying, can I have my staff back? It means a lot to me, because who gave it to him, isn't around anymore. Eastman gave him the staff. Eastman's dead, so of course it has a lot of personal meaning to it. And of course that little punk ass, basically said no one took his staff. So yeah, I mean, you can see things are already starting to go a little, a little more uneasy for the people from the kingdom and Ezekiel. Things aren't going as smoothly as before with drop-offs and stuff now. So, that's starting to play into, basically what Rick and them said. How long, or what Rick and Daryl said. How long is that going to last? We got a good thing. How long is that going to last? So we can see that's already starting to take effect, even though, that dude's starting all these little fights and skirmishes and getting in Richard's face and trying to start stuff, saviors don't care. Even if it is their own fault for starting it, they don't care. They'll still, go after and do what they need to do. But, afterwards, we get Daryl and Richard. They come up with a plan. They want to basically take out some saviors because they travel a road. Daryl gets a crossbow. Not the same one he had because, Dwight still got it. But he does get a crossbow back. So Richard and, he tries to convince Daryl to set up a trap because the saviors usually come down the road. And they want to basically take them out and basically lay all the bodies basically right in front of Carol's apartment or house. So that way, when the saviors see him, they'll basically attack her to try to, get, to get her, and that will try to get Ezekiel to snap and basically join the fight. Daryl says absolutely not. Say her name. Who is it? And once he finds out, it's really Carol, he says absolutely not going to happen. They get into a huge fight. Daryl basically lays down the law and says, if anything happens to her, she gets bit, she gets a fever, she gets struck by lightning, I'm going to kill you. So that basically just, he just basically laid it right down. He's not going along with absolutely any of that. After we do get to finally see Rick and the rest of that group that went out, that got captured by that other group. I don't think they really said a name, but the Garbage Pail Kids or Junkyard Crew or whatever, and they kind of look like Heaven's Gate looking people, all dressed in black and whatnot. Yeah, they, the scene from the trailer where it's the overhead shot, they come out and they all form a giant circle around them. The leader basically introduces themselves. Rick's trying to make a deal. They take Rick up and, say, there you go, look around. And they see the huge junkyard, and the leader basically shoves him into a little pit, and that's where we get to meet the spiked walker, Winslow, and basically Rick has to basically fight his way out, a little gladiatorial game, so everybody's kind of looking on through little tubes and whatnot that they can kind of see into the little pit and everything like that. And Rick is basically fighting. He kind of gets stabbed right through the palm of his hand, because the whole walker is basically covered in spikes. So I think that was a pretty good nod to the whole cutting off Rick's hand thing, because I know a lot of people have been asking, is it going to still happen? I think at this point it's not going to happen. I mean, honestly, if the governor didn't do it, no one should. I mean, because that is like the governor's thing. So yeah, but he does get cut up. He does get basically stabbed in the hand, or right through the hand, I should say. But yeah, that was a pretty badass looking fight. I think they kind of did edit out the walker kill, because Rick picks up like a piece of glass or something, and he starts stabbing it or slashing at it or something, and the camera doesn't quite show it. They just kind of show some like blood splatter, so I don't know if they kind of like cut out the violence or whatnot, but either way, he basically chops off the walker's head, and they're all impressed, and they say, will you join us, join us in this fight. And they make an agreement, basically saying, all right, we want half, and Rick's like a third. They also want weapons, lots of weapons. So Rick breaks down and agrees to it, so now they need to go out and find weapons for them, and they will join in. But I don't know, like I said before in one of my other videos, I don't trust them at all. That's just me. I don't know, they're sketchy as hell. I'll just put it that they are sketchy as hell, and I do not trust them. I just got a bad feeling about them, so that's just me, I don't know. Maybe they're good. Maybe they're fine, but yep, I just don't trust them. I think I just think they're bad news. But yep, after that, we got Ezekiel going out to clear out some of the walkers. He bumps into Carol. They have a pretty interesting conversation. We had a pretty funny Jerry moment, comes up to her and, hey, like a cobbler, of course, we got our great Jerry moment, I'm dying to see that dude get into like some sort of action. I bet, I don't know, I bet that dude's like a complete beast if he ever gets like pissed off or something like that. I just want to see him go into like rage mode. I bet he's just, I don't know, because he's got like this so goofy, funny side to him. I bet he's just insane if he ever gets like pissed off or just rages. I bet he just goes ape shit. But so we get a cute little funny little Jerry moment. Then of course Carol says, leave me alone, I don't want to be bothered, I see you people have a hard time understanding this. And they leave. Carol goes back inside, and then we have another knock at the door. And of course, she opens the door, and there's Daryl. And of course, they have a long, minute or two stare at each other, and then they, finally end up hugging each other. It was a great moment seeing those two reunited again. Then we go back to the junkyard again, where we find out what happened with Father Gabriel, that he was actually kidnapped, that when he was inside the pantry, he got jumped, and, basically taken hostage, saying, take everything and let's go. So we find out, what exactly happened with Father Gabriel. So now we know he didn't, just run out or anything like that. He was basically kidnapped. But yeah, Father Gabriel, has manned up more. I've always kind of liked Father Gabriel. I mean, he has come around quite a bit from the first time we met him all the way up to, this point right here, right now. Then after that, we got Rosita, who is getting, really, really cold, really distant all of a sudden. She's, everyone's like, well, we should go back and regroup. And Rosita's like, nope, I'll do it myself. I don't need any of you people. And, Tara's like, no, we need to stick together. We need to, Rick needs to get, his hand stitched up. He got basically stabbed through the hand, and she's like, grow up. And so I don't know what exactly is going on with what they're doing with Rosita, but she's getting cold. I mean, I know she's been through, quite a bit. I mean, with Abraham, basically leaving her, and then seeing Abraham get brutally beaten right next to her, or right in front of her, whatever you want to, right next to her. And then, taking the shot at Negan and failing, and then getting Eugene captured, because that is pretty much her fault. Eugene said it was a bad idea. He didn't want to do it, but she kept, edging him on to make the bullet. And basically, it was her fault that, Eugene got captured and Olivia killed. So, I don't know. I mean, she has been through quite a bit. So, I guess you got to kind of give her some slack there. So, but, yep, after that, junkyard crew, yep, bring us supplies, we'll join you. I don't know, we'll see, but I gave my prediction. I don't think they're friendly at all. I think it's too good to be true, but we'll have to wait and see. Then of course we get a nice little Rochon moment. There's a little wired cat statue that Rick grabs and basically hands it to Michonne, because the last one she had got lost or got destroyed from when the governor attacked. So, fun little Rochon moment there. Then we also got, Daryl and Carol again, so they're talking, they have a really good conversation, why did you leave? And, she's like, I just can't take it anymore. I can't, I can't kill anymore, and she started breaking down. She started to cry. She started to ask Daryl, what happened? Is everybody okay? And she's like in tears, and, you can see Daryl's heart breaking, when he says, everybody's fine, nothing to worry about. So, he covers, because he doesn't want to see anything bad happen to her. So, after just seeing her in like complete tears and everything, he had to, cover his ass and lie, she just couldn't take it. Then they have a fun little moment. Daryl's like, are we gonna eat? Or do I have to be a king in order to get fed? And so he kind of cheers her up. She's like, oh, shut up. So that was a pretty fun moment. I did like the interactions with Daryl and Carol. Yeah, what else? Then we had Daryl sitting back with Shiva. The Daryl and Shiva moment was another great one. He's sitting there right in front of the cage, and Morgan comes in, starts talking to him, and saying, oh, you're good with her, and everything like that. And Daryl and Morgan have a pretty interesting conversation. Basically like, you need to man up. Whatever you're holding on to, it's basically gone. And Morgan's like, well, we're basically the same. I mean, because we both didn't tell Carol what really happened. We didn't, him and Daryl didn't say Glenn got killed, Abraham got killed, Spencer's dead, Olivia's dead, so. But yeah, it was a pretty interesting thing. And right before Daryl left, he basically says, whatever you're holding on to, don't. There's really nothing left. So yeah, that was pretty much the whole episode. Daryl basically saying, I'm going back to the kingdom. I mean, back to the hilltop, to get ready. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a really good, interesting episode. I liked it a lot. I did like the gladiator scene, I guess you can call it, with the Walker and Rick fighting it out. I did like seeing how things are starting to shift sideways for the kingdom, and the saviors are in their drop-off. What else? That little pact that they made with that new group. We want weapons. We want half of whatever was on that boat, and they agreed to fight. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a really good, solid episode. I like how everything is starting to come together. The kingdom are starting to see things are starting to shift sideways for them in their little pact with the saviors, so we know definitely they'll eventually be coming around. But yeah, overall, another good episode. I don't know really what to rate it. I'm pretty bad at giving number ratings for shows because I never know like how much to take off or whatever. I don't know. It's 8.5. I don't know. I don't know how much to take off. It was just a really good episode. Let's just put it that way and leave it at that. But yeah. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to drop it a like. That'd be awesome. If you like the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. That would be awesome. And more videos are on the way. My video reaction should hopefully be up Monday, tomorrow. What else? I'll do a episode 11 trailer breakdown and try to give some predictions on what will happen in episode 11. And yeah, there'll be some other videos and stuff like that. I hope to get at least my reaction video up Monday, maybe the trailer breakdown on Tuesday. And if you guys have any questions, leave those in the comment section below. That would be awesome, and I'll definitely do videos on those. And yeah, just other than that, I will see you guys on the next video. All right, guys, take it easy.